Okay, so here we are on the second part of this demo. In this case, I have my plotted rough three-quarter view sketch of my original side view design. And I'm going to go in there and really quickly, in less than 10 minutes, give it a little bit of VisCom and bring it to the next level. So I'm starting off with this guy, and I'm going to save this as so at this point I flipped it to check for any imperfections, and now I'm going to take it back to how it was. And whenever in doubt, I like to maybe duplicate a layer. Oops. And isolate it. Oopsie. And maybe I can blow this up just a bit so I have more precision and resolution. Erase this extra junk. And so I'm somewhat happy with this rough, loose sketch. I will lower the opacity so I can barely see it. And now I'm going to go over and trace the lines that I like. So this wheel be a little bit cleaner. I try to use the thinnest line possible that will also be visible. So that's one wheel. Some spokes in there. And put my tread in here. Here's my rear wheel. Needs a little bit of adjustment. And if you want to really make it nice and clean, I would do that box that I did in the previous demo for getting the turret to look right. The cylinder up here. And I want to make sure this is well grounded. By the way, feel free to get in touch with me if you have any questions about the brush. It's a standard brush that I use. I just modify it just a little bit so I can have a lot of room for error when I'm laying this down, depending on how much I press on the tablet. Okay, so right off the bat I noticed that my ellipse is off, so I'm going to correct this a bit. Widen it up on top and go back on this guy and shrink it down a bit. Here we go. Okay, the gun, like I said, at this point I'm pretty much just tracing some of the existing lines that I have. A little bit of offset. It's getting a little too cute. Make sure these lines work with each other. To make this a little bit tougher, maybe put some little ribs on that piece. Maybe another offset. Maybe a very subtle value change here. Let's see, how much time do I have? Okay, I'm halfway there. Okay, so I think I'm gonna Trace the upper surface. This little bevel or chamfer, and how it runs down to the main body. Try to make this as nice of a ellipse as possible. Actually not very good at drawing ellipses. And need a little bit of correction here. And maybe I'll start tracing the boundaries. And there's some great Photoshop tools and Wacom tools where I can normally rotate this, but for simplicity's sake, I just try to freehand a lot of these angles that might not be natural for my arm. Okay, then we have the thickness of that tread, what it is over there. So I think this body comes in just a bit, and that's kind of like a little offset, and that maybe shoots out to this point maybe. Cast shadows are really important for doing something like this. It would really help out, but I'm not sure how much time I have. Well, I only have 3 minutes. Section lines are definitely helpful. A little section line there, here. Show that it's got a little bit of offset there. And for the tread, that's kind of angled there. That is also angled. I'm going to change the center line on that just a bit. Let's see, center line goes up here, shoots down there, here, hits there. It's a little bit offset from the lower part. If I were to put some of the angles here, that's a little bit offset, and then it continues up here. If I were to show the front a bit, I think that would work. A little bit of curvature on the rear. See how much time I have? About 2 minutes. I've roughed in the tank. I'm somewhat happy with that. There's a little bit more development, I think, in certain areas, kind of like putting some little offsets like that. A lot of little details, but I'm going to go right into the values right now. So I have a minute and a half. I'm going to hit this whole thing, one solid value, try to get a little bit of gradient on the front, maybe a little bit of gradient on the back. And again, keep in mind, this is the same brush that I've been using to do all this stuff. A little bit of value in this area. I want to darken that whole area out. And I'll do the wheel with it. Then I'm going to erase the boundary of this tank. There we go. Be a little bit more careful with this stuff. And I'd like to duplicate that value. And that's 10 minutes. So I'm going to wrap this up in another 2 minutes. So at this point, I want to try to get my 1, 2, 3s. And I've already got the 3 here. I'm going to just erase away here to get the 1. And one thing to keep in mind, I'm going to go in at the end and erase a little bit of that original value. So getting a little bit of second read here. Maybe show off my wheel on this value. And this is kind of a little opportunity to try to correct it a bit too. Let's see, what's my time now? Oh snap, only got 30 seconds. Alright, so you want to watch the angle that you erase away in a cylindrical object like this. Generally, you want to watch the surfaces. And go back to the original layer, duplicate it, maybe try to get some undercuts like there. Maybe some different graphics. Okay, 2 more minutes. By the way, a lot of times I will do it this way because it's pressuring me. It's pressuring me to move on. You know, when you're dealing with art, a lot of times it's tough to say, okay, you know what, I'm done. But at the same time, you want to have some sort of deadline, some sort of goal, even if it's like a temporary goal, like I'm setting for myself here with the timer. So maybe I'll use this as an opportunity to put a little bevel on the side of that body. This will kind of make my vehicle feel that much thicker and stronger. All right, and so if I were to finish this off, I might go back to that original value and erase away a little bit of the corner of here. There you go. Try to get some of that bling bling in there. We talked earlier about cast shadows. They are very important. And a cast shadow is, you can just do like a generic line for, and this can kind of work as a section line also, what the barrel is dropping down onto the body. A lot of times I'll just use a typical directional light from above. Not fade to end. Okay, and then finishing touches, finishing touches. I think the inside of the barrel needs to be black. A little bit of cast shadow there. I can put some little details. Tiny little details. chamfer there. I'll highlight or core on this guy. And I think I'm pretty much there. This wheel's hiding too much back there. And one of the last things I like to do is I'll grab this whole thing, make sure I'm on the very top layer, Control Shift copy, paste, and maybe I'll bring this guy back up here, flip it, and check for any issues. I think for the most part I'm in good shape. Maybe I'll just go in with the eraser and just clean up the boundary a little bit, just make it a little bit better presentation. If you have more time, I would encourage you to go in and put some extra little details, maybe put some more rivets around here or there. A lot of things you can do. And let's see, I think I'll completely wrap this up by putting my initials. You want to make sure you sign your work, so I'll put SM14. I will duplicate that. I can do there, merge it with that. This way I can warp it to where I want it to be. I want to get it right in perspective, right at the angle. And then I can put a little bit of crown into it so it looks like it's matching on the surface. So the lower part I want to match the bottom curvature, and the upper part hopefully I can match the upper surface. Let's see if that'll work. Yeah, I think that's fine. Maybe lower the opacity just a bit. How about if I shrink this thing? I guess that's okay. But I'm not happy with it. So I have to go back to this guy. I'll duplicate it, and I'm just going to make this one really simple. So I'm going to match the perspective. First I'll merge that, then I'll match the perspective. I'll just put it on this fender here. So that's the line down there. Right this way. Regular perspective. Shrink it down. And I think that'll work. Alright guys, well thank you for watching this. I think this took an extra 15 minutes. I hope it was helpful, and I hope I can catch you on another one of these in the future. Alright, have a good day.